In the quiet suburban town of Hawthorne, Oregon, Daniel Pierce was the man everyone trusted. A devoted husband, doting father, respected high school teacher, and part-time volunteer at the local food bank, he embodied stability. But behind the calm smile and pressed shirts, Daniel harbored a life no one suspected. In December 2002, a series of anonymous tips led police to a rundown motel 30 miles outside town. Inside room 19 they found a lifeless woman, identity unknown, staged to look like an overdose. What stood out was the neatly folded shirt at the foot of the bed and a torn Polaroid taped to the mirror. A woman with fearful eyes and the words, "He says I'm next." The case went cold. In 2020, Detective Maya Ellison, known for solving long-forgotten cases, picked it up again while reviewing unsolved crimes with unusual signature clues. The Polaroid image haunted her, and the victim's face stayed with her, despite no match in the national database. Forensics had improved since 2002, and a minor breakthrough came when DNA from the motel pillowcase linked to a Jane Doe in Nevada found in 1999. Another woman, same setup, similar eerie notes. Each victim had no known next of kin, no connections to the towns they were found in, and no known ties, except for the style of manipulation and method of disposal. A behavioral profile began to emerge: educated, meticulous, highly intelligent, and emotionally detached. Maya began to cross-reference school teachers, traveling lecturers, or seasonal workers who might have had reason to move between states during those years. A name popped up: Daniel Pierce. He taught briefly in both areas. A temporary teaching permit in Nevada. A sabbatical around 2002. But his records were spotless and his background checks came up clean. Still, something didn't sit right with Maya. She went to his home under the pretense of interviewing teachers about youth crime. His demeanor was calm, but as he offered her tea, she noticed something: a faint discoloration in the corner of his living room. She recognized it immediately: the photo that had haunted her, now repurposed, buried under layers of paint on a canvas. It wasn't proof, but it was motive to dig deeper. Maya obtained a search warrant. Hidden beneath the floorboards of Daniel's art shed, disguised as a weekend painting hobby, they uncovered box after box of photographs, women's IDs, letters, and journals written from multiple personas. One box was labeled Julia, the woman from room 19. Another was marked June, with different handwriting. Daniel had maintained multiple identities, complete with phone numbers, email addresses, and even fake social media accounts. He'd used them to lure vulnerable women across state lines, keeping detailed psychological journals on their behavior until he no longer saw value in them. He had no criminal record, because he never left one. Until the photo. Under interrogation, Daniel was composed until confronted with the Polaroid. He didn't confess in a traditional way. Instead, he quoted a line from a 1980s noir film: "You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough." The courtroom was packed during his trial in 2022. His wife, devastated, testified that she had no idea. That the man who made her laugh, raised her children, read bedtime stories, had compartmentalized an entire life without slipping, until one photograph did. This case wasn't just about a killer. It was about how we believe what we want to see, and how trust can be manipulated by the very people we hold dearest. The greatest danger isn't the stranger in the dark. Sometimes it's the man sitting at the head of the dinner table, smiling. Daniel Pierce was sentenced to life without parole. Detective Maya Ellison, hailed for her relentless work, gave the final statement. It only takes one mistake to end a perfect lie. The courtroom emptied, but the questions lingered. How many lives had he touched? How many masks had he worn? This case was a chilling reminder. Evil doesn't always come cloaked in chaos. Sometimes it wears a tie, grades your child's homework, and volunteers at the food bank. This is Crime, Unscripted. Don't forget to like and subscribe.